Hey, welcome to the Early Morning Musician. This show is for artists committed to creating in the margins.
Before their day jobs, after the kids are asleep.
From the business trip or the basement.
We get it, and we're going to share everything we've learned along the way.
Welcome to
The Early Morning Musician. Guys, welcome back to The Early Morning Musician, where Carissa doesn't have her headphones in, and Ryan started the podcast without her.
It's okay.
You're doing great, though.
It's okay.
You look great. Headphones not needed.
No.
Welcome back. Episode 14. What did we title this one? You got a title for this one?
This one is about quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made me think of this the other day, I posted a TikTok and it was from our podcast, and you were talking about how if you post how many songs to Spotify, then you're
10.
Okay, if you post 10 songs to Spotify, you're ahead of
8 million other artists on the platform.
Yeah. So like, how many artists are on their total?
I think it was 12 million currently that we're putting songs out, and 8 million of the 12 million. I'm guessing at these numbers. I think that was what I read though.
But it's the majority.
8 million of the 12 million had less than 10 songs to their individual profile.
Yeah. So
which rang true for us. Like we had 2 other profiles, way less than 10 songs. You know, feels like a lot of work to put out 10 songs and not be successful, you know?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. And we're posting on TikTok. The vast majority of people on Spotify stop before getting to 10.
Right.
So if you can push yourself as an artist or as a musician to get to 10 and then to get beyond 10, your consistency level is going to work for you.
Right.
But someone commented on it and was like, how does quality versus quantity come into play here?
Right.
And I thought that was a super good question.
That is an excellent question.
Yeah, because we used to have the same question.
Oh, yeah.
We used to just like painstakingly deal with an idea or a melody or,
there's no, because when you're, maybe this is for all art, but there's never like a moment when like, you're done. Like the song is done being written, the melodies are done being written. Like there's no point in the process from a music perspective, melody perspective, lyrics perspective, mix perspective, mastering perspective. Like there's no one anywhere along the way to tell you this part of the process is done. So you're constantly just having to arbitrarily decide, okay, I think it's time to move on to the next part of this project or call this project done and put it out into the world. And that's terrifying because it's like, people are going to judge this. And like, you don't know, like maybe, what if it isn't good? You don't even know like where in the process things got off track. There's no one to tell you. So you're just like, well, was it a writing issue? Was it a mix issue? Was it a melody issue? Was it a words thing that people didn't connect with? You have no clue why it didn't work out. All you can do is just like compare your art to other art, which isn't always fun, but it's a lot of times really beneficial. And it's, you got to figure it out and do another one, And so like it's debilitating at times because you're just like, oh, I spent, especially if you spent like 6 months. I've spent literally over a year on a single song before, just writing over
What song?
and over and over.
When was this?
This was one that Michael and I worked on together.
Oh, yeah.
We wrote it and wrote it and wrote it and wrote it. And honestly, it sounds great. I wish we had finished it because like I listened to it not long ago and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like it sounds really good. And it worked. Like it got to a really good place, but it was like, we should have released it.
I remember when we were living in California too, you used to wake up early. It was the original Early Morning Musician.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like 8 years ago.
I still have those songs.
I never got to hear them.
You didn't, yeah.
Because you would get up and work on the same songs every morning. I'd hear you in the other room.
Yeah.
But you never let anybody hear them.
Yeah, at the time I didn't have, well, for one, we were super broke. And I didn't have the money to I couldn't afford a computer to record.
I was pregnant.
I couldn't afford a microphone, like not even a cheap microphone. Like we were broke. We were in debt, big debt. And it was like, there's no way I can fork out money to buy stuff. But I thought like, I'll get better at my skill at least. So I just like would write songs on the guitar and then sing them into my phone, like play them and sing them, and then put them in a Google Drive. And then I got like 5 or 6 of those. I should probably go back and like listen to see if there's anything in there that's good.
But like the quality gap between what you think your art should sound like and what it actually does sound like, before you put something to a recording, you think to yourself, I know how to make this sound awesome.
Oh yeah, it seems very straightforward.
Quality seems easy to achieve in the beginning.
And AI today would make you think that it's very easy. There's apps you can just be like, write me an indie rock song about potato chips, and 2 seconds later it's like, oh, that could be on the radio. Right. Unfortunately, we're not AI.
Right. So you get
I'm gonna get that Neuralink transplant. Where are you at, Elon Musk? Give me one of those for songwriting, though.
You get your, recording made, and then you have the quality gap.
Yeah,
this is not as good as I thought it would be, and it's not as good as everything else out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what artists do is they choose quality over quantity.
Yep.
They say, I'll work indefinitely on the quality of something.
Yeah. We've been there. We've done that for sure.
And it can take never to get as good as you want to be, or as good as you think the other person sounds, or as good as the bar. So quality for us, we realized, is counterproductive. It's a counterproductive bar.
Yes.
Because quality control was keeping us from practicing enough to become better.
Well, what I actually ended up experiencing as I was producing songs is like, after, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks of just like listening to the same song over and over and over, after like a month of that, it doesn't matter what song it is. Go turn on the best song on the planet and listen to it for 1 month straight every morning for 3 straight hours. Every morning, 3 hours of that song. You're going to hate whatever that is. So after so many weeks, you're like, I hate this song. But you've been working on it night and day for a month, and it's hard to have perspective. And what would happen is I'd be like, I think I need to take the song in a new direction. Right. So I would add something new. I would like turn in a totally different direction, and then boom, the inspiration was back, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I love this now. I had the wrong song. I need to switch gears and go to this other song. And then I chased that rabbit for a month until I hated it. And then I'd be like, I need something different here. Change it again. And it becomes this never-ending thing of just like, I was just liking what was new.
Yeah,
it's
you just become nose blind.
Yeah, I was just like nose blind to it, and not realizing that like to everyone else in the world, that first thing that I thought sounded cool, they would think sounded cool now. Like they're not going to sit and listen to it for 3 hours every morning. They're going to listen to it one time, maybe period, and be like, oh, that's cool. A great song. Good job, Ryan. Like that would have made my day. Like if someone did that. But like I didn't realize that I was doing that. And then it clicked one day, and I was like, oh, I'm doing that. I'm just bored. I'm just bored and ready to move on. And it's not that I need to throw out the art I've been working on. It's that it's time to put it out into the world. Let it be what it is. Like accept where you're at and go get better. Like learn from the mistakes and go write a better song,
Right. So we decided to set a quantity goal.
Yes.
And you guys know that our quantity goal in 2024 was to do one song every single month.
Yes. Release a song a month.
Which we have managed to do.
Ooh, by the skin of our teeth.
By the skin of our teeth, because here in the last few months, we have been like working to get the song out on the last day of the month.
I mean, today we released a song. You guys are going to see this on, I guess, maybe next Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday when you watch this, hopefully. Maybe.
A few days from now,
A few days from now when this goes live. Today we released a song, and it's the 30th. So like we had tomorrow. Today or tomorrow it had to come out. Today we released it.
And when we started, we were releasing our monthly songs on the 1st.
And like 2 songs ahead. So like I would release a song today.
That you had been working on months ago.
And I would also have the next song done already. And I would be working on the next one.
Yep.
But like life has happened, like life has happened, and like we've lost time due to things, and now it's like I released a song today and I started the next song today. I have no clue how I'm going to get it done. I have no idea. I don't know.
The next month starts in 2 days, and we've got 30 days.
I've got to do music, and then I've got to write melodies, and then I've got to hand it off to you for lyrics. I got to go back and final track it. Then we got to come back, produce vocals, record vocals, like
in the next 30 days.
Then I had to go back and mix it, master it, release it, and hopefully have it out. Oof.
And we've done that every month this year.
Yeah, it's been tough.
We have had a daily time crunch over our heads, which has been really stressful for you probably.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing that you think it's fun.
I love it though, yeah.
But the reason that we're doing that is because we set just purely a quantity goal.
Yeah. So, even beyond people listening to it. Like, it's not even about people listening. Like, I just want to hit the goal. Like, I want to have an album's worth of music out into the world. Like, goal number one. I don't even care if anybody listens. Like, I just want to have it out there for me. Like, I can do this. I can write a whole album. I can mix a whole album. I can master a whole album. And I can get it out into the world.
You're doing it for you.
I am. I really am. I mean, because ain't nobody listening. What do we have? Like 60 monthly listeners right now? It might go up in the next couple of days because we released a song, but like that's kind of what happens. We release a song and it like jumps up, and then it just like over the course of the month goes down, and then it's like release. Oh, we got a few more, and it goes down.
But it's never been. I mean, it's probably never been above 100.
It has. Definitely been above 100. But probably not much higher than 100. I think that the highest we've ever had was like 150,
and even when
160.
I have been like, Ryan, I think we should focus on marketing. I think we should focus on, figuring out how to push these out. You have been like, no, it's purely about quantity right now.
For now. I think, obviously, the marketing piece is important. There's no music that exists without good marketing. But I think that it's important to have a catalog, a little piece of a catalog at least, before you really start investing money. Yeah.
So wherever the song is at, by the deadline, is the way it goes out into the world.
Well, maybe. I have not released one that I wasn't ready to release yet. But this month might test me. I might have to make that decision at the end of the month. Like, do I release it even though I don't feel like it's done? And I don't know. I thought like maybe I have to pay somebody to mix and master this one. Maybe I have 3 weeks and then I got to hand it off to somebody else to mix and master because I don't know if I can get it done fast enough. So
time for an acoustic song.
I've thought about doing that. I've thought about like maybe a cover or maybe like doing a song that we already wrote, do it like release an acoustic version. So that way we could get it done in like a couple of weeks and then I could immediately switch gears and start writing the next month's song. And that would give me 6 weeks. But I don't know.
I mean, we did ultra conditional in 30 days. But anyway, we're talking about quality versus quantity.
Right.
So we came across this.
Let's call it a parable.
Okay.
I want to call it a parable. That feels like that's what it's called. But it's actually an excerpt from a book. Let's see here. It's from a guy named David. I don't know if I'm going to say his last name right. Bayles. I think it's Bayles.
Sure. Yeah.
And Ted Orland. They have a book called Art and Fear. I would like to read this, but we wanted to share this with you guys because it really makes this point like really clear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read just this small excerpt. It's like 3 paragraphs. Everybody just relax. This is going to be a big deal. So here it is. The ceramics teacher announced on opening day of the class, that he was dividing the class into 2 groups. Okay. All those on the left side of the studio, he said, would be graded solely on the quantity of work they produced, and all those on the right side of the class solely on the quality, right? So he split them up, quantity and quality. So his procedure was simple. On the final day, his class would bring in his bathroom scales and weigh the work of quantity of the quantity group. 50 pounds of pots would get him an A, 40 pounds of pots would get him a B, and then so on and so forth. All right. So those being graded on quality, however, they needed to produce only a single pot, but it had to be a perfect pot. It had to be perfect in every way by every standard, and that was the only way to get an A. And if they didn't get an A, they failed, right? So it came grading time, and a curious fact emerged. The works of the highest quality were all produced by the group being graded for quantity. It seems that while the quantity group was busily churning out piles of work and learning from their mistakes, the quality group had set this is interesting. The quality group had set theorizing about perfection, and in the end had little more to show for their efforts than grandiose theories and a pile of dead clay. Does that not sound like your average songwriter, music critic, producer person. Like they spend all of their time, and I'm pointing the finger at myself. It's the endless YouTube videos, the endless vlogs, the endless equipment, purchasing more VIs, more plugins. I need to change my DAW. I need a better interface. I need a better microphone. I need to go and talk to this person. And there is value in learning your craft and becoming excellent. All those little pieces play a part. But you can literally spend your life geeking out about all the tools. And I do that. I love the tools. I really am passionate about the trade as a whole. I love every aspect of it. But you can get so lost in those details that you forget all these things are unto something. And you can just get lost in the details and you never actually get to the making of anything. And every time you try and you realize, oh, that didn't sound the way I thought it was going to sound, you like retreat back into the grandiose theories of like, oh, this Pultec compressor, you got to have, oh, this tube microphone. Like
I know what would make a song sound good.
Yeah.
But I haven't practiced enough actually with my hands.
Right.
To create it.
And you get together with your friends who are doing the same thing and you talk about like, oh yeah, I'm getting this and you're getting that and I'm working on this. But like nothing ever actually surfaces or comes of it. You just get lost and it's because you're so focused on the quality and everything around it that you think if you get all the pieces in place first that you'll be able to produce the art that really you want, like the thing that you're wanting to produce. But the truth is the key to actually getting out there and having amazing music, amazing mixes, amazing masters is like getting it wrong, like getting it messy. And, you know, I think humanity does a great job at doing this right when it comes to kids. You know, with your own children, like, I'm confusing you. Am I confusing you?
You're confusing me.
Well, listen. Well, I mean, think about it. Like our daughter Eden, she's super artistic, right? She loves to color and draw and everything. She colors outside the lines. She like messes up, you know.
I thought for sure that you were trying to say that it's better to have a quantity of kids.
Listen,
like,
if you just have 32 children,
some of them are bound to turn out
one
right.
of them, you'll get at least one child.
Don't focus on the quality.
Don't focus on
quantity
just
only.
Spit them out. Don't worry about how you raise them. Just, you know, one of them will turn out okay.
I was like, I know he doesn't think that.
Think
what
about
is
it. You just need one LeBron James in your family. Like, and then all the rest of y'all are fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what they used to do. They used to be like, 7 of you guys are going to die, you know?
Oh,
so let's just have a...
Sheesh.
Oh, sorry.
This took a dark turn, man.
Yeah, you're right. That's my bad.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, we do a great job of this with kids. We champion them. They make messes. They do art. They do dance classes. And like, you know, like...
They're about quantity.
We go to the dance class recital things and our daughter gets up there and does like the little thing and like they just kind of flap their arms and just kind of stare at you and like, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. You know, like we champion it in children, but as you become an adult, we do it to ourselves and we do it to others. When someone steps out to create and steps out to do something that maybe they're not a professional at yet, like they're an adult trying something new, they put it out there and we're like, ooh, cringy, that sucks. Like you should stop doing that. Like go back to your day job and like don't put yourself out there. We do that. I do it to myself. I feel myself like want to do it to others. I think I'm getting better about not doing it. But I think that if there's something that we can work at as humanity is like, give people space to have process and like have space to put themselves out there in whatever it is. You know, it might not be art. It might just be like a new career field. You know, like I think about people who like go back to college later in life, you know, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You know, people go back to college and become nurses or whatever. And like, that's so intimidating. And it doesn't have to be. Like, why would we not champion that in every area of society? Like, if you want to do something, just go do it. There's no shame in like sucking at something.
Yeah.
You know?
I was seeing this this like little diary on the internet. This granddaughter who was an adult granddaughter was caretaking for her like 100-year-old, I mean literally like super, super old grandma. And this grandma had lost the ability to speak, maybe due to like a stroke. So she would write these really profound like notes that her granddaughter would find. This is true. This is not like a caricature. Yeah, this was beautiful. And her granddaughter would find these sweet notes. And one of them was, if I was 40 years old again, I would. And she had on there, learn how to play the cello, travel to Bolivia.
Yeah.
Like all of the kinds of things that you think about doing when you're a teenager were on her list of things that she would do if she was 40 again. And I think that I'm not 40, you know?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to learn how to be really, really good at piano. And I've always kind of like started, even when I was 16 years old, guys, this is so stupid. I was 16 and I started taking piano lessons because I really wanted to learn how to play. And I knew that I needed to play to be a songwriter. And even when I was really young, I knew I wanted to be a songwriter. But I got to the piano and my piano teacher wanted me to use a beginner piano book for like 3-year-olds, like children.
Yeah.
And I was having to play like My Little Teapot and struggling through it. And struggling through My Little Teapot was just too much for me.
But you were also proficient at another instrument, right? Had you started playing piccolo yet, or was that?
Yeah.
She's an amazing flautist.
Okay,
Am I saying that correctly?
Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying, like you excelled. You could like shred on a flout, but then like going to a piano where you're like starting back again.
Yeah, starting
it's
over.
Like, I ain't doing this. Forget this.
Yeah, because I felt too old to be bad.
Right.
At 16, I could not mentally handle it.
Mm-hmm.
That I was that old, but I was reduced to like 4-year-old level. My pride couldn't handle it. I literally thought like, I'll figure out how to do it a different way. A way that's less painful.
Mm-hmm.
A way that has more quality. And
yeah.
like, I am so sad that was 15 years ago.
Right. How amazing could you be now?
That was 15
Had you
years
been like
ago.
practicing for 15 years, you would be nuts.
I'd be incredible.
You'd be nuts good.
Like, so what if I started on My Little Teapot, you
Right.
know? And like now I'm the age I am now and need to start on My Little Teapot or whatever,
Right.
you know? So it like the starting point is the great equalizer, you know? And all of this is subjective. Like we released a song today. We got feedback from a friend who was like, I would do this, you know, this stuff differently. And we were kind of like, well,
Cool. I wish I knew how. I wish I knew how to do that differently than I did it.
We did make it in 30 days, but also we'll learn how to do it next time.
Right.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
learn how to do it
It might
5
be
times from now.
10 songs from now. I'll figure it out at some point.
But we're really okay with kind of doing My Little Teapot because we know that if we keep pushing quantity,
Yeah.
the quality will come.
Yeah.
Just like it comes with anything else.
Right. And it's the same thing now. Like I'm 32 and I look back when I was 20 and I know I wish that I had started doing when I was 20 what I'm doing today.
Right.
And the thing is I know that when I turn 40, I'm going to be the same person I am now. I'm the same guy.
It takes getting older to realize that you're the same person
Right.
at every age.
You think when a decade goes by or you get to 30, 40, 50, you think that like something in you is going to change. Like I'm going to be a different person by then and I'm going to have something, I'm going to want something different.
You feel like the exact same.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't change.
No, it's crazy.
Like I guess it's maybe when your frontal lobe develops and you just become like fully awake, you know? Like you just stay that person. It happens in your mid-20s and you never change.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing now like I'm going to turn 40 and I'm going to feel like this.
Yeah.
What do I want to have? And what I want to have is a decade of music under my belt. I want to have a decade of songs. I want to have a catalog of music that I'm so proud of and that I can share with the world around me. Like, am I going to be the next Taylor Swift? Well, no, because she popped off at like 15 years old or something. And like, I don't even know, she's 32 right now. And she's like the biggest artist on the planet. I'm not going to be that, but I still want that. When I'm 40, I still want to have that, the music and the writing and that's what I want to be doing with my life.
Right.
And I know I've got to think about that now. And it makes it much more palatable to release the imperfect
Right.
Like not the best yet.
Right.
I'm still super proud of it. Like the song we put out today, I hope that when I look back 10 years from now, I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, like there was a lot of improvement that could have been made over that. But I will be making music that is 10 times better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to do these first.
Right.
You know, I had to learn how to do it at some point, and I know that day's coming, and I'm not going to get there and do this again, you know.
So we were in a songwriting class like 7 or 8 years ago. Were you in that class with me?
I don't remember.
No, you weren't. So I was in a songwriting class. You were at work. And
nice.
This guy was saying, if you're not writing every day, you're not becoming a writer. And I was 25 at the time when I was listening to that. And I remember thinking to myself, that's not necessary. Like,
not necessary.
Thank you, but no thank you. That's
No
not
thanks.
necessary. Like, I don't write every day and I'm a good writer.
Said the girl with 3 songs out into the world.
0. Well, okay, we had 5.
That's true. We did release. I forget about that EP back in the day. Y'all should forget about that.
We
EP.
should all forget about it. Yeah. But he tried to tell me, and looking back on that, this is why we made this podcast, really, is because we are trying to tell you. If we meet 20-something-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and even people our age, or maybe you're older, who allow like limiting mindsets or just haven't hacked at this enough to have the perspective that people who hack at it all the time have.
Yeah.
The truth is that you have to do what you love so much to get good at it.
Yeah.
And there's really no better way to get good at it than to put like goals and time limits on yourself and just like throw it out.
Yeah.
Because we find that if you don't throw it out, you really actually will never complete it. If there's no urgency at the end, like even if it's self-imposed urgency, then you won't release it. So do whatever it takes to get consistency in there, because you'll be so much better for it and you'll be so grateful that you did.
Yeah. And like what's actually the alternative? You know, if you don't work hard at something that you love, then what that means is that for the rest of your life, you're going to have to do something that you maybe don't love as your career. And you're going to have to spend at least 40 hours a week until you're 59 and a half, and then you can retire.
Or the alternative
You know?
is just believing that you're really good at something, but having no idea why when you try to execute it, it doesn't come out like you thought. That frustrating place,
terrible.
Indefinitely, that frustrating place, I don't want to be there forever.
Yeah, so guys, get out there. Like whatever your thing is, just like put pen to paper, start the class, like sign up for something, just whatever it takes, and like whatever quality, whatever level you're at, just do it. Like just start doing the thing right now. Don't wait until next week when like you've got some free time. Like wake up early, set your alarm. You and all of us, we can wake up at 5 a.m. together and know that all of us are doing our thing.
Because you have a song due in 30 days.
I've got a song due, guys. I'll tell you what I'm doing for the next month. And it is making music every day without a break, for sure. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. This was episode 14, Quantity versus Quality. And we're just so thankful you guys are with us. We're having a blast.
Subscribe, leave a review.
Whoa.
Bye.
See you guys.